Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Canucks news and rumors here at the Hockey Writers. I'm your host for this video because there's a big trade. If you haven't found out yet, I'm sure you have. Quinn Hughes was traded to the Minnesota Wild for a big package, and this is massive. Probably the biggest trade we've seen in, I don't know, it's been a long time. Marco Rossi, Zeev Buium, Liam Ohgren, and a first-round pick. For Quinn Hughes, that is all the Wild got. Oh, that's a pretty big guy to get for this round. I've got Mariah Stark here from the Minnesota Wild writing team. Of course, the only writer for the Minnesota Wild for the Hockey Writers. Mariah, what do you think about this trade? I'll give my thoughts after, but getting Quinn Hughes, basically one of the best defensemen in the league right now, for pretty big. A lot of pieces going back to the Canucks.
I had to Actually, I had to quadruple take when I saw the first message come through. I was like, that really says Hughes to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Huh? And then I had to see which Hughes it was because I'm like, I highly doubt it's Jack or Luke.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I feel so bad because I always forget there's a third. I always forget Quinn.
Yeah, right.
I really feel I shouldn't say that. I always know it's Jack.
Yeah.
Luke and Quinn, it's always like, oh yeah, they're the other brothers. I feel terrible because it's like they're all great players.
Yeah.
But when I saw how many players, at first I saw only Rossi, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't surprise me because he seemed like he wanted out in the offseason because he wanted a 7x7. The Wild didn't want to do that. They did a 5x5. He didn't want to do that, so he did a 5x3. So signing the fewer years, I was kind of like, well, the cap's going up, so maybe he just wants to get that big payout. Can understand. Or it's I'm out of here in 3 years. And also understand that. Because there were a lot of from what I understand, there were quite a few teams looking at him, but nothing was the right package. And I will say I don't think anyone was expecting this trade.
No
there
way.
Seemed to be no hints, no leaks, no nothing. So I don't know how long they've been talking about this or if it was literally just yesterday. I highly doubt it was just yesterday, but I did see Bill Guerin last night and he said hello. And I really want to see him tomorrow and be like, you can say something. Yeah. Not that I know him that well. It's literally a hello in passing, but just be like, you just seemed like everything was all good. Everything was fine. The Wild got their huge win over Dallas last night. Didn't think anything of anything. And all of a sudden Rossi's gone, Buium's gone, Ohgren's gone, and a first round pick is gone. First round pick. The Wild have already kind of stated they're willing to dish out picks because they have quite a few prospects, at least for a little while now, that kind of need room to play anyway. Ohgren, not a huge shock, just because he's been, I hate to tell you this, Matt, but he's been so up and down with the Wild. And it could be he just hasn't had the right fit. Maybe maybe Vancouver will be good for him. He is a good player. He was showing improvement, especially last night. I just feel like he gets sent down as soon as someone gets healthy, so he doesn't. Yeah. He hasn't been able to establish his place. But the one that I am the most hurt about is Buium. We know this. You know this because I was jumping up and down when the Wild traded to get him, and I was so excited. He is going to be where if he stays with you guys, whatever, he is going to be phenomenal. He already is for his age. There are still growing pains he's going through. He's making mistakes that players make. The good thing is he's recovering from them. He's not shying away when he makes a mistake. Like he's still willing to jump into the offense. He's still willing to push his comfort zone. So I think he's going to be spectacular. And I'm really hoping the Wild trade back for him. Like they did, I think it was this last offseason. They traded Hunt. Or they waived Hunt. I can't remember how the whole thing went. Hunt went to Columbus, and then we got him back. And I was like, I'm okay to let Zeev go for a few months if he comes back. And again, Quinn Hughes, I will admit, obviously I know the name. I'm not as familiar with them because I'm not as familiar with the Western. Like I should be more familiar with the Western Conference, but it's hard to keep up with everybody. I know he's a good, solid defenseman. I don't know the specifics of his game. I know he can score, so that's good. And the funny thing was I was texting with my dad because I said, "Did you hear?" And he goes, "No, what happened?" So I told him, and then he's like, "Yeah, I just texted my friend, and we're talking about it, how it's kind of shocking, but at the same time, Jared Spurgeon is probably towards the end of his career.
Yeah.
Middleton is currently hurt, but I could see him sticking around. Brodeen's not getting any younger, and he had a massive struggle at the beginning of the season. It's only been the last week or two that he's really been the player he was in years past. And I think a lot of the injuries we'll see where he is next year. I actually don't know what his contract is right now. He might be here for a while, but obviously Faber, another one of my absolute favorites, who I probably would cry if the Wild traded, just because him and Buium were my top level.
Yeah.
Like the future. I did an article like, there's your future of your defense. And I understand why they traded him, because he's obviously, I don't know how Vancouver's doing for defense besides Hughes and Pettersson.
Yeah,
I was like, we just saw you guys, and and one of the Petterssons was hurt.
Yeah,
was it Elias. The center?
Yeah, Elias Pettersson. Yeah.
Yes, the two Elias and Elias, and I'm like, oh, thank God, I only have to write one of them. But when I wrote the recap, I had to put center because I'm like, how else do I tell you apart besides putting the number?
Yeah,
we've had this discussion, but yeah. So I don't know how. Like, obviously, they have a strong future with those guys.
Yeah,
and Rossi, strong center when he's not hurt. The biggest thing with him is you want him to be like Boldy and Kaprizov, where you're noticing him all the time, but you don't, because he does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. He's very defensive minded too, so he's really good to have on that. And I just remembered that, so now I'm a little more bummed he's gone. But I mean, Vancouver's getting a good haul. Not that not the Wild aren't, but it's a pretty big risk on the Wild side to get one person versus 4.
Yeah. Well, also there's the fact that he's a free agent in a season and a bit. 2027, he's a free agent. Okay. So it could be that he's a 1 year and a bit rental for a pretty big. That's a big price to pay for a guy that you're only going to have for a season. And whatever the rest of this season and next season. I mean, are they? I don't know. Like, I mean, is it that they're pushing for a cup with him? There's no guarantee he's going to re-sign in Minnesota. He's just going to bolt to New Jersey, which everyone there's just that has been the big thing throughout Vancouver, is that he's going to go to New Jersey regardless, and that's why they're saying about a trade to New Jersey rather than to another team.
I mean, maybe the Wild are working some side deal.
I don't know. Like Elliot Friedman did come out, I think it was this morning or yesterday, his 32 Thoughts, saying that some teams are willing to take that risk, or the Wild one of them. Obviously they are. They did make the trade. So, I
mean, so I think I talked about this on the season preview. This whole off season, last season, leading up to the offseason, we're going to make a blockbuster move. I shouldn't say we. I'm not part of the team. They're going to make a blockbuster move. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. We're finally out of the cap crap. In other words. And, okay, this is going to sound really mean, but we got Tarasenko.
Yeah.
I like the guy. He actually looked okay last night on the first line, because obviously with Rossi and there's someone else that's supposed to be on the top line, and I'm blanking who's hurt right now. But he ended up being on the top line for a center or for a wing. Zuccarello. There we go. That's who was hurt. I kept thinking Boldy or somebody. I'm like, no, Boldy was there. They've had a string of injuries the last week and a half that it's just been like, okay, let's just stop.
Yeah.
But so
Tarasenko looked too well in Vancouver.
Well, yeah, and then you tell me Hughes had been hurt, and I'm like, okay, that's fantastic.
He's been healthy for a bit here, so yeah.
I mean, you are getting Rossi, who hasn't played in a game in a couple weeks. So.
That's where I'm kind of like the Canucks aren't helping themselves right now either. They're still going to be without a center unless he's back soon, but.
And he might be because he was skating. I think I should look. I think they had said he could be at practice this morning. They said he could be a game time decision, obviously before the trade came out.
Yeah.
So
he could be a game time decision on Sunday then.
Well, yeah, at least you guys, I don't know if, because the Wild play tomorrow, technically this is Friday night, so tomorrow, Saturday. I don't know if Hughes is en route here now. I don't know how this works, if he can be here that quickly, or they.
Well, the Canucks are in New Jersey right now. I believe they're in New Jersey now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, he doesn't have to go through all the border stuff. But
yeah, so it should be fine. I think everyone should be. Like, obviously, it's very early. There's stuff that's going to – I don't know if all the guys are going to be available for the Canucks either.
And realistically –
there's always those visas and all that stuff that could potentially have a problem, but we'll see. It's big. I mean, the thing is with the Canucks, I mean, I wasn't expecting this trade at all.
I don't think anyone
Not today. I mean, I was starting to prepare that there could be a trade, and I thought closer to the deadline, maybe. But to happen now, the Canucks have been, I mean, they haven't been good. And they've been one of the worst teams in the league. They're last in the league right now.
They beat the Wild.
So they're struggling. And now they trade their best defenseman, arguably
captain too, right?
And captain. They trade their captain. And arguably the one top 3 defenseman in the league right now, next to Cale Makar, probably second-ish. So, I mean, he just controls so much of the game, and you're just going to – I mean, you fall in love with – he's going to fall in love with Quinn Hughes the first game you play. He'll play.
Oh, you're making me excited.
He controls the game like no one else I've seen. I mean, for the Canucks, definitely the best player that the Canucks have ever had. And he's already the franchise leader in points for defensemen.
He's a minute eater too.
He plays 30. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play 30 minutes a night in Minnesota. He'll probably match what Faber's doing at the 25-ish, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Wild needed another guy that could do that. Not that Buium couldn't, but
he'll play on the power. Oh, he'll obviously be on top unit power play. He is a big player. I mean, the one thing he controls the play so much, and I don't know how the Canucks are going to look without him. I mean, obviously I've seen them without him, and Filip Hronek is just going to have to take over the offense now on the back end. And he's looked good whenever Hughes has been out of the lineup, so maybe he'll end up being in taking over that. Buium, I'm excited to see what he can do because I've liked him. You know, when you guys drafted him, I was like, you guys got a good one there.
I remember our conversation.
Yeah. So I mean, and I know your connection with him with the article that you wrote with him before that. So I mean, he's going to end up being. He's no Quinn Hughes. I mean, he's going to end up being a good top pairing defenseman, I think. And he's already shown pretty well this season. He's got 14 points.
Yeah, and he's still like 20. So.
And he's still 20 years old. Oh, Hughes is 25, so he's not like he's old.
That's old.
But again, how long is he going to be in Minnesota? I think that's the biggest question. Is it going to be a season or is it going to be long term? I'm assuming Guerin's going to want to try to get talking with him. Obviously, he can't sign until July 1st, an extension. So, you know, this conversation won't happen until then. But I think for this deal to make sense for the Wild, I think they need to re-sign him. That's a lot to give up. Rossi's a legit second line center, potentially first line. Buium, the top pairing, top 4. I think his ceiling is top 4, top pairing. I mean, and Ohgren could potentially be a good top 6, middle 6 guy as well. And another thing, if I don't know if Canucks fans know this, Liam Ohgren was Jonathan Lekramaki's line mate, part of that super trio with Noah Ostlund back in his draft year, they were a lethal line. So, I mean, there's some chemistry there with Lekkerimäki. Maybe they're potentially 1-2 type guy later on, real good duo in the future. So that's something to keep in mind. The Canucks maybe have to get Noah Ostlund from Buffalo now to complete that line.
And they still got a first-round pick to use too.
You get them out. But yeah, I don't know. The way that, and the first-round pick is an added bonus. I mean, that was always, I think they wanted that in the deal. And it's going to be a late first-round pick. I mean, I'm assuming the Wild are going to finish pretty high in the standings. Now they have Hughes too.
We better now.
So, I mean, when I first saw the trade, I'm like, I don't like that they trade Quinn Hughes. But when you look at the amount of guys they got, all young, all part of the future, all potentially core guys as well. And they get a guy to replace Quinn Hughes in the blue line. He can probably play top 4 right now. Rossi, definitely when he gets back in the lineup. A center the Canucks desperately need right now. And Ohgren, again, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do this season. I don't think he has any points this season yet. So, I mean,
I think he might have an assist or two.
Yeah, there's no goals. I was looking at that. So, I mean, potentially this could be a really good deal for the Canucks. It's just, I don't know. What is their plan now? Is it a rebuild? Are they trending towards that now? I don't know. We'll see.
Good future.
I mean, it's looking that way. I mean, when you look at all these young pieces that they got from the Wild that all have potential to be big parts of the team, who knows? We'll have to wait and see on all that. But Mariah, you got a great defenseman in Minnesota now, potentially franchise-changing type defenseman, depending on how long he stays. So, I mean, that's the big question. I mean, is he going to be an impact defenseman for one season or longer?
I mean, if he can get the power play going again, maybe that was
definitely
part of the motivation, because the power play was fantastic, and then just
him feeding Kaprizov. Holy, yeah. No, you got yeah. So yeah, and Hughes with the talent that the Wild have, he's going to be a difference maker. That's for sure. I might have ended up a bit of a Wild fan because I love Quinn Hughes. I love watching him play. I'll watch him in Minnesota as well. So I'm sure Canucks fans, even though the Wild they're not as much of a rival as they were in the past, but with Quinn Hughes there, just as long as he doesn't do anything when they play against, that's all I care about. And there's only one game.
One more yeah.
Game. It's in Minnesota, so it won't be Vancouver. We'll have to wait till next season for the return of Quinn Hughes to Rogers Arena. But right now, the last game that Quinn Hughes was in a Canucks uniform, it's unfortunately a loss against in their last game against the Buffalo Sabres. So that unfortunately wasn't a good last game for Hughes. But we'll miss him in Vancouver, but we'll see if all these guys make up for it soon. But thanks, Mariah, for coming on, giving your reaction to this blockbuster trade. Yes, definitely a blockbuster. And we'll see what happens in the future for both sides and how much, Hughes will definitely impact the Wild for sure. And there's a lot of potential for all these guys to impact the Canucks positively as well. So it's going to be an interesting trade to look back on in the future. Make sure to check out everything at talkraiders.com. We got reaction coming out and tomorrow for all this. And so make sure you're taking a look at that and give your comments of what you think about this trade in the comment section below. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see you next time.